Hello and welcome back to NorCal 715. Today I have this Marantz CD player. It is a CD-63SE. And the problem is I can go ahead and play the disc. You can hear it's playing. So the disc plays. And I can go ahead and change tracks. Everything's fine. On the display, you can see it's starting to skip. If I go to track 6, it just doesn't want to play. So let's take a look at the disc. So now the disc looks pretty good. A couple of minor scratches, but most CD players should be able to overcome this with not much of a problem at all. So I've already gone ahead and cleaned the optical pickup in it. I've lubed the sled motor, I've lubed the turntable motor, and to no avail. I've got the same problem. I've even tried to increase the optical laser power. Same problem. So what I've got is a brand new optical pickup. And it's got the mechanism, the turntable, the sled, everything. So you've got the anti-static jumper on the end of the cable. So let's go ahead and install this baby. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just remove the door. It's normally done by just prying up and lifting off. It's got two little tabs on the bottom of the door, and then it slides down in some slots right here. I'm going to go ahead and close the mechanism, even though I have no power right now. Just going to go ahead and close it. And then I'm going to remove the screws here, and there's one more screw right down in the center here we're going to go ahead and take out. Alright, got all three screws out. There's a couple jumpers here. Remove the ribbon cable. Alright, so on this ribbon cable, it's kind of hard to see with the camera directly above me, but it has this connector that actually lifts up. And so when the ribbon cable is inserted, it's kind of locked into place. You can't lift it up easily. Once you just simply lift those tabs up, the cable pulls out pretty much effortlessly. It's got one cable we'll unplug right here. That's the sled and spindle motors most likely. Take it out of this little cavity that it's tucked into. Next we'll just go ahead and try to gently pull the whole optical pickup out. So there is the optical pickup assembly. Everything completely out of the mechanism. We'll just set the rest of the player aside for now. Now I'll try to keep this in frame for you if I can. So now I've got the drawer out. Now to remove it, it's got this little tab right here. All I have to do is move this little lever over just a little bit, and I can actually take the drawer completely out, and it's out of the way. Now this optical pickup assembly is just held in place with these little rubber bumpers right here. So it's got 4 rubber bumpers. There's 3, and the fourth one is really hard to see because it's like underneath. There it is, right there. So while the unit's in the retracted position, we can actually lift this whole thing out. It just barely clears except for the cables and whatnot. So here's where the laser actually plugs in. Let's just go ahead and get this board out of the way. Just so I don't forget where these go, I'm just going to put a couple of witness marks on here. That way when I go to put it back, I know exactly where it goes back in, because this could get lost along the way and I would never know where it goes back in. So we'll get the board up and out. This one has the same kind of connector. So I just slide this forward, and then it just unplugs completely from there. Now these cables I got to route around all these little towers. They're completely out. Now the whole pickup assembly should be completely loose, and it is. We'll move that out of the way. Now I'm going to try to turn the backlight up so you have a little better view of this. So now let's just go ahead and we can actually just push these rubber bumpers out of the way to the side. There's 1, there's 2, there it goes, 3, oops, came off of there, and number 4. Now this should completely lift out of here now. Nope, still got some more wires tucked aside. Don't pull too hard. These are very fine wires. There we go. Now we'll take a look at the old one versus the new one. This is the new one, this is the old one. A little bit of differences between them, but as far as I can tell, the mounts all mount in the same place. Now we're going to have to transfer the wires over because obviously they didn't send us new wires. So we'll have to transfer the wires over to the limit switch, the motor, the sled motor. This is the turntable motor, this is the sled motor. And then the biggest thing of all is the optical pickup the same. Certainly looks like it's got the same number of pins and everything. The board layout is almost identical. So we'll have to remember where these wires go. We'll heat up the soldering iron and we'll move all these over and then we'll give it a try. Put it all back together and see how it goes. So now because I have to attach the leads to the sled and the spindle motor, now the spindle motor, the turntable motor, is marked as to what lead is the positive lead. They're both the same. But the sled motor, I've looked and I can't see any differences between the two motors. Now, the new motor actually does have a plus symbol next to this lead, but I can't see any markings other than a blue dot next to this lead, but they have the blue lead attached to this point on the motor. So what I've done is I've got my power supply up to 1.5 volts DC, and I'm just going to go ahead, try to get this in view, and attach it to the two leads. And you can see the laser moves outwards from the spindle motor. And so if I do the same on this motor and it runs backwards, then I know I have to reverse the leads. No, and it runs the same direction, so that's very good. Let's go ahead and put it back to home position, because home position closes this home switch right here. There, the switch is closed, everything's good. So just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and attach these leads to the motor, and it's running clockwise. So we'll do the same thing over here. And it's running clockwise as well, so that's very good. So we can actually just move all the leads over one to one from the old unit to the new unit. Okay, so I have all the wires reattached, and now I'm going to try to put it back into the rubber bumpers. So just by positioning this, I can push the bumpers into place. And we can route all the wires underneath like they originally were. Now we'll go ahead and reattach this one. Alright, that looks good. Next we'll get the mechanism. There it is. Back into place. Now I can put the drawer back on. And here's that tab earlier that we had to release right here. Just a plastic tab. You have to push it over slightly to release this. Once it goes in, you'll hear it click. There it is. That keeps it from coming out. Get the rest of the wires and tuck them under this one little tab. Now we have to connect the optical pickup. And so what I'm going to do is very carefully remove this shorting tab while keeping my fingers positioned on this. It has to go in one direction only, with the pins facing down. There it is. We'll lock it in place. Now we can go ahead and remount the board. Put this one back on that I had the witness marks on. Now we're ready to put it back in the machine. So now it's just a matter of very carefully inserting this, getting the holes lined up. We'll put the 3 screws back in it. Plug in the ribbon cable. Route these through the little lock right here. Back over to the connector. Plug those back in. Okay, so I have the disc in it, ready to go. We'll apply some power. It should close on its own. Read the disc. And it did. We'll hit play. There it is playing. Last time it played track 5 with no questions. When I went to track 6, it just wanted to skip last time. So there it is, playing absolutely perfect. So the old one was a CDM12.1/15A. The new one just says it's a VAM1202, but it seems to play absolutely perfectly. Still playing just great. Let's go ahead and make sure it plays all the way up to track number 12 with no problems. I'll turn the sound up. There it is, playing track number 12 with no problem. So it plays the extremities of the disc easily. Back to track 1. And it's playing just fine. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed this video on the Marantz CD-63SE. If this video has helped you, please consider making a donation on my YouTube homepage with the PayPal donate button or at paypal.me/norcal715. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Remember, with your help, we can keep these things out of the landfill and out of the recycle bin. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.